1 out of every 2 golfers will deal with lower back pain. And here's the truth. It's rarely the golf swing that causes the injury. It's the body behind the swing. Today, I'm breaking down the real physical reason golfers hurt their lower back and the exact corrective strategies I use with tour players, elite amateurs, and developing athletes. Across my career, I've worked with PGA Tour professionals, collegiate level programs, and competitive juniors who all struggled with the same issue, lower back pain, that kept coming back. And every time, the pattern was predictable. The issue wasn't their swing. It was their hips, core, and thoracic spine couldn't support the swing they were trying to make. In rotational sports, injuries come from one of 3 sources. Physical dysfunction, when the body simply can't move the way the swing requires. Mechanical stress, when compensations overload the wrong structures. And training volume, too many swings placed on a system that isn't physically prepared. For golfers, the first 2 are almost always the primary cause. The lumbar spine is not designed for large amounts of rotation. The hips and thoracic spine are. During a proper golf swing, rotational load should come from the hips rotating freely, thoracic spine contributing to upper body rotation, a stable lumbopelvic hip complex, and a strong lead leg deceleration system. When any of those qualities are limited, the lumbar spine becomes the primary rotational driver. That's where irritation at L4, L5, facet compression, and repetitive strain begin. The first major dysfunction is limited hip rotation, both internal and external. Trail hip internal rotation controls depth and backswing, while lead hip internal rotation controls deceleration through impact. When the hips don't rotate well, the lumbar spine takes over and absorbs force it was never built to handle. The second dysfunction is poor LPH stability. When the core can't control rotational forces, golfers compensate with early extension, excessive side bend, loss of posture, or sway and slide patterns. Each of these compensations increase stress on the lower back. Now the third dysfunction is limited thoracic rotation. When the upper spine can't rotate, the lumbar spine is forced to rotate instead, creating overload that compounds with every swing. And the fourth dysfunction is weak lead leg deceleration. If the lead leg collapses at impact or can't absorb force efficiently, the rotational load shifts upward into the lumbar spine, increasing the risk of irritation or injury. Golfers need a clear restore, stabilize, strengthen, and integrate model. We begin by restoring mobility. Hip mobility is improved through exercises like 90-90 hip switches, internal rotation lifts, and line hip internal rotation work. Thoracic rotation is restored through quadruped open books and seated rotation drills. This gives the golfer's back the movement the lumbar spine has been compensating for. Next, we develop stability so the core can actually control these ranges. Anti-extension work like dead bug progressions and long lever variations teaches the trunk to resist excessive spinal movement. Anti-rotation work such as the pull-off press builds the ability to control rotational forces. Hip pelvis control is developed through progressions like hip airplanes and stability ball stir the pots. This is where low back stress begins to unload. From there, we build strength into functional golf-specific patterns. Single leg strength through split squats and single leg RDLs reinforce hip stability and posterior chain capacity. Lead leg deceleration is trained with step-down progressions, lateral step variations, and rotational deceleration drills. A strong lead side is one of the best protectors of the lumbar spine. Finally, we integrate everything back into the golf swing. Standing band rotation, pelvis torso separation drills, and controlled speed work with a focus on clean deceleration, bridging the gap between the gym and swing performance. Swing volume is then increased gradually as the golfer's physical capacity improves. Golfers hurt their lower back because the hips, core, and thoracic spine aren't doing their job. Restore hip rotation, build LPHC stability, improve thoracic mobility, and strengthen lead leg deceleration. And the swing becomes more powerful, more consistent, and far more safer. Fix the body and the swing takes care of itself.